Hey super students, remember how we explored the awesome keys on your Chromebook keyboard? Well, today we are taking it a giant leap forward. We are going to dive into the heart of schoolwork. Google Classroom and your amazing digital notebook, Google Docs. This video is all about how to find your schoolwork, how to create your answers and projects, and most importantly, how to turn them in so your teacher can see your brilliant ideas. Get ready to become a Google Classroom Pro. First things first, how do you find your school assignment? It's easy. Here we have our shelf. See right here? We have all our applications on this shelf. So to get to our classes, we're going to click on the Google Classroom icon in the shelf. Now, remember, you have the App Launcher button here as well. And the App Launcher button gives you access to all of the apps that's available on your Chromebook. See? Classroom is also here. Alright? So, you're going to click on the Classroom icon. And it's like walking into your school building, but just in a virtual settings, you know. So you clicked on the Classroom icon, and here is the class intro to Google Chromebooks, right? So we're going to click on the class, and this is our class, okay? Intro to the Google Chromebook. And as you can see, this area right here, this area here is called the stream. So this is the classroom. This is our stream, and here we have classwork, and here we have people. To get to our assignments, we want to click on the classwork. So you see we clicked on it, and here we have two boxes. Each box represents an assignment. Click on one, and you'll see everything your teacher wants you to do. All right, so I'm going to click on this first box here to see this assignment. So we clicked on it, and this is the assignment. Now you would notice on the assignment page, there are some things that you really need to pay attention to. The due date, which is on the top. The assignment is the National Anthem of Trinidad and Tobago. It's worth 100 points. I can add a class comment if I wanted to, okay? And the question reads, I want to know who wrote the National Anthem of Trinidad and Tobago. I would also like to know the year it was written, and who was the Prime Minister at the time. Do your research and submit your answer. So that was the assignment from your teacher. See it here? Okay, you have found your assignment. Now, how do I do the work? If you look closely at the bottom, it says at this blue bar, add work. So now I have my assignment. I know my due date. And now I want to answer this assignment, this question, right? So I'm going to click on Add Work tab. And there you see it. We have this little pop-up that gives you these options. So I just clicked on the Create. Okay, let me go back so that you can see that. Here we have the Create button, right? So I'm going to create an answer. And here we have docs, we have slides, we have sheets, we have PDF. I'm going to go into docs. Most of your answers that you're going to give to your teachers, you're going to either type it or something like that. So you would normally use docs, unless you have another way of presenting your answer. You know, maybe a slide or a presentation. Okay, so now we have docs open. And as you can see up on your left hand side here, right here, this would normally be labeled untitled. But because it's a school assignment, it is already labeled. But normally when you come into docs, the first thing you would want to do is label it. And like I said before, normally it's labeled untitled. In this case, it has my name and it has the assignment on there. So it's easy for my teacher to find, and it's also easy for me to find, right? So we are in docs and we can start typing, right? They said who was the person that wrote the National Anthem of Trinidad and Tobago. Well, I don't know that information offhand, so I would have to do some research. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, close that. I'm going to go up here and you see this plus sign? I'm going to open a new tab. And when I open that tab, it's the Google search engine tab, right? So I'm going to go do some research. So I'm going to go into the search bar right here and I'm going to type in who wrote the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago, right? It's right here. And then I'm going to click enter to search. And wow, look at all this information that came up here. The name of the guy that wrote the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago, his name is Patrick Castagni. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct, but his last name is Castagne. Castagni. Well, I apologize if I pronounce this incorrectly, but now I know who is the guy that wrote the national anthem. Let me see what else they say here. Forged from the love of liberty, he originally composed the music and lyrics for the West Indies Federation, but the song was then edited and adopted as the national anthem when Trinidad and Tobago gained independence in 1962. Wow, this is a wealth of information here. So now what I can do is like I could copy this information. So what I would do is I would go on my trackpad on my mouse and I will click at the beginning of this and then I would use my next finger to drag and highlight all this text that I want to copy. And then I will hit my Control C button to copy it. So I just copied all that stuff that I highlighted with my cursor, right? And then I'm going to go back over now to my Google document tab right over here. And then see my cursor is blinking there on my canvas, right? My plain sheet. I'm going to now hit Control V. And wow, it just printed everything onto the canvas. Everything that I highlighted on the other tab in the search engine, Google search engine, and I highlighted it and I copied it, and then I was able to go onto my Google Docs and press Control V and paste it in there. So now I have all this information. I am going to edit it and submit my answer to my teacher. So what I'm going to write here is the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago was written by Patrick Castagni. Yeah. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing this correct. So, right, Patrick Castagni. All right, and the year it was written is, they said now that the year it was written is in 1962. Okay, so it was written in the year 1962. All right, and then I happen to know the other part of the question, which is who was the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago at the time. That was Dr. Eric Williams. So the Prime Minister Prime Minister at the time of our independence was Dr. Eric Eustace Williams. All right. And that's what my teacher wanted in the work. So now I can erase all this other stuff. Yeah. All right. Delete that. And delete over here as well. All right. And now I have my answer. But there are quite a few other tools that I want to just touch briefly on really quick before we leave out of here. Now I'm in my Google Docs. I have my answer, right? And we have some little icons here on the top. This B right here is the B to make stuff bold. So let's just say I wanted to highlight or make bold the words the national anthem, right? So I would highlight it and then I would click on this B symbol here and make it bold. So you see how it's bold and bright, and you know, you could see it very vivid, right? I can also italics it if I wanted to. Let's just say I wanted to italics all the other text, all right? I would highlight it again. Make sure I highlight it properly. I don't have the O from the of. Let me do it over. All right. I would highlight it and then I would click on this I. And this would give me an italics, make it really fancy. See that? Yeah. And let's just say I wanted to underline the last part of my answer, right, which is the Prime Minister at the time of our independence was Dr. Eustace Williams. Let's just say I wanted to underline that. I would highlight it and I would hit on this U right here, all right? And you see, it's underlined, right? I could also change the size of the fonts. So I can highlight, let's just say the entire answer, and then I could go over here where I have this plus sign, and I would click on this plus sign and increase the size of the font like I'm doing now, right? Yeah. So let's just say our teacher said, you know, I would like Uncle Leroy and Auntie Shelda to do this project together. So I would go up here on the top to where it says share on my document, and then this window would open up, right? And right in this box here, I would put Auntie Shelda's email. Click done and send it to her. And she would be able to see this document as I work on it live. She can also add information in there if she wants to as well. And it's all in that same document. Another magic thing about working in Google Docs or any of the Google apps is that you don't have to press save. Everything is saved for you automatically. Okay? So all these changes that I made on this document is automatically saved without me having to press a save button. Really cool, right? So yeah, so there we have it. I was able to answer my question in Google Docs, right? Everything is there. I'm going to do another tutorial again on Google Docs and a lot of the other applications because there's so much stuff that you could do in here, you know, but it's going to make the tutorial too long and drawn out, and I don't want to do that, right? So I'm going to do another tutorial and get more in detail about the stuff that you could do in Google Docs and some of the other applications, right? So here we have our answer. So we are going to now, remember we were in the Google Docs, we're going to close the Google Docs now, right? By hitting that X. And we're going to also close our search engine where we found our information, right? And now here we are, back at our class. You have done your amazing work in Google Docs and it's all saved safely. Now, for the final super important step, turning in your work. If you would notice that we have the question here, and at the bottom of the question, attached to the question, is our Google document. How cool is that, right? And now we have our turn in button, this big blue button. Before, in the other setup, it used to be on the side somewhere over here. But in this new setup, it's here at the bottom and very clear and vivid for you to see. So we answered our question. We are happy with our question. So now it's the big thing. We are going to now turn it in. Bam. Here we have a little dialog box is asking, are you sure you want to turn this in? Turn in your work. Yes, one attachment submitted. Yes, I want to turn it in. And you click turn in again. And just like that, your work is turned in. See it right here on the bottom? Turned in. So that means your teacher have it now. That was easy, right? So you did your assignment. So now we're going to come out of the assignment because it's already turned in, right? And we are back at our class again. And again, you see there's another assignment here that we can go and do because again, we are here in this area, right? The classwork area. To go back to the stream, we would click here and this would be our stream. Any notices, any notes that our teacher wants to send to us or reminders, she would send it here on the stream. So this is the classroom here. So that was it. We did it. See, you found your assignment in Google Classroom. You created your awesome work in Google Docs and it saved itself automatically and you turned it in. You are officially a Chromebook and Google Classroom superstar. Keep practicing and you'll become super fast. So what's your favorite thing about Google Classroom so far? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more awesome Chromebook tips. Until the next time, keep learning and keep shining.